Okay, so this is round 2 of the LA Masters on August 2nd also, 2008. I was white in this game too, so it's just unusual that I have 2 whites back in back.
In the Western class I had 2 whites in a row.
It's possible.
On rounds 4 and 5.
You could have 2 of the same color, but never 3.
Right.
So this game against a Japanese master named Shoki Tagami, I was white, and again I opened with knight f3. He played a different system. He played knight f6, and after g3, g6. So he's kind of copying my move for now. Nothing wrong with that. bg2, bg7, and castles, and castles. So I told him, stop copying my moves. So I play c4, he plays c5. I said, dude, forget about getting a draw with me. After this, you better not copy. See, this is where symmetry ends. Yes.
Isn't talking illegal in tournaments?
Not when I talk. Yes, it is.
He didn't say, he just like kind of meant it.
You're right. So he plays c takes d4. I play knight takes d4.
Finally.
And now I play d5. And I'm like, dude,
In your head.
symmetry favors the player with an extra tempo. Who is that?
White.
White, right.
I mean, only white.
So I play pawn takes, he played knight takes. We have a purely English symmetrical position.
The reason why symmetry favors the person with the first move is because if you get checkmated, then
Or a check even.
or a check even.
He cannot copy. He cannot do the same. So I play knight b5 with a little threat. You see, I have the initiative. What's the threat?
Taking on d5.
And then knight c7, right?
Just taking on d5.
Well, I mean, even if he plays e6, no, I can't. That case again. So we played a6. I can take on d5, but then he takes on b5.
But then he gets double pawns
Right.
for open a file.
So I had that option, of course, but I saw something better. e4. And after pawn takes, I would have a great pawn over here.
Isn't that a IQP?
It would be, but it could also have potential to be a pass pawn. IQP, by the way, is not always bad. It's like double pawns. Some people think double pawns are just bad. No, there are times double pawns are great,
Yeah.
especially if they're close to the center.
Or either that or shielding your king from
Unless there are trays, double pawns. So I played e4. Sure enough, he took the knight. There are some cunning tactics in this game. And I took the knight with the pawn.
My name is not Trey.
And black played bishop f5. Okay, that's good developing move. White to play, what should he do?
Knight c3.
Queen b3, simple, obvious. This pawn is weak. I'm just going to pile up and try to win it. And how can he defend it? He defended it this way for now.
Why not queen d6? So then you could defend it with rook a5.
Queen b6, then I would have had bishop e3.
Oh.
Knight c3.
So it's white to play. If I play knight c3, obviously it's going to push, and my knight has no good squares to go to. In developing your pieces, especially knights, when you develop a piece, a knight to a square, you should always be looking for where it's going next.
But now you have bishop d2.
So now I played knight a3 exclam. Knight on the rim, sometimes it can be a dream. So I played knight a3, and he played, sure enough, that's the only move, right? To guard the pawn. He played b4.
He can play bishop d7.
And now all I have to do is my knight came to c4, which is a fantastic square. And where should he go?
It's a
Queen b5 fails to a4 exclam.
Queen c7.
She's going to go c7.
Well, queen c7 drops this pawn.
queen c5.
Queen c5 fails to bishop e3.
What doesn't fail, Mick?
Queen a4.
Queen a4, the only move.
Oh.
And it's good move, by the way. It's not a bad move at all. It's white to play. What should I do? I can trade, or I can let him trade. A good rule of thumb is let your opponent initiate the trade, and instead you develop another piece. Bishop g5. If he defends this pawn with a rook, rook behind his own pawn, not so good. If he pushes this pawn, he closes this bishop diagonal for a while. So he's got a bad and bad choice. Which one should he go for?
Bishop f6.
With the bad one. Sure enough, he played rook e8.
The lesser evil.
And now it's white to play. What should he do? The pieces are all in good positions, but I need to do something more.
D6.
Knight b6.
D6. All of a sudden, IQP is becoming a potential to be a pass
Threatening
pawn.
bishop takes b7.
And a goner.
Bishop takes e7, bishop takes e7. Both of these pawns are loose right now. So
So
what
you
should he
wanna
do?
force.
On d6, he is looking for active play. His position is gradually deteriorating. I mean, after takes, knight takes, there's a threat on the rook, there is a threat on f7,
And
there's a threat on b7, there is a threat to take this bishop, so he just can't afford to. So he made a drastic decision here. b5.
Wow.
What is the point of b5?
I guess you'll get bishop knight for rook.
No.
Well, it forces my knight to move at some point, either before or after trading queens. But one thing is for sure. If I play knight b6, he must trade queens because his rook would be hanging twice. So now I saw a forcing variation. On b5, first I took the rook. So he can trade queens and win this knight, but then I play pawn takes and I be exchange up.
But then bishop takes b2.
Right. I'm willing to give him that rook. But he captured immediately. Takes, takes. And now what should white do?
Let's take a look.
Knight e3.
There's a nice tactic in this position right now. Knight b6. I'm willing to give the pawn back, this pawn. But I'm hoping to get both of these pawns. So I play knight b6. He played queen c6, good move. And now d7.
The tactic.
This is the tactic. The point is, whichever way he captures, bishop or knight, then I have knight d5 with this threat, with this threat. So he captured with the knight, and now knight d5. You see the multiple threats here?
Yep.
It's black to play. He played bishop e6. Nice move. Pinned my knight to my queen.
Knight takes e7? Sure.
Knight takes e7? No, rook takes.
Then bishop. Oh.
Wake up. So I got to defend this twice, right? Rook fd1. First things first. So first he kicked my bishop, knowing that I cannot capture on e7.
You can capture on e7.
That lose a piece.
Bishop
Not
e5.
because of rook takes, because he takes here first.
Yeah.
Sushin Zuk.
That was a racist comment.
So
I was asleep.
bishop e3.
What?
It's black to play. What should he do?
Gang up on that knight.
Piece optimization. This is a heavy meta game right now. So white is an exchange ahead. The question is, can he win with that exchange? Black keeps putting pieces in good squares. It's white to play. What should white do?
Rook on
Rook
AC1.
a
Worst piece first. Rook ac1. What is black's only move here? There is absolutely only one move
Queen
here.
A8.
Queen a8 fails to knight c7. Wait a minute. On knight c7, doesn't he have knight f3 check?
You were the one who said knight c7. And no, he doesn't. Because then king f4.
Yes, he does.
Well, he has it, but it's no good. King
Well,
h1. Just king h1.
king h1?
Yeah.
That's right. It wouldn't have worked because of king h1. So the only correct move is rook b7.
Queen b7.
Queen b7. White to play. How should he continue?
Rook c7.
This check is bothering me. So I put the question to that knight. Move it or lose it.
He checks you right now.
So he played knight c4. Wow. Look at this knight, how far it's come. How should white continue? At this time,
Give back the exchange.
it was a game 30. We both were seriously low on time. When position is somebody is very low on time, set up a lot of traps. So I played queen f3. What's the idea?
Knight
Win the
f6.
queen.
Knight f6, winning the queen, right?
Yeah.
He saw the problem, he played queen a8. Okay, nice. Now queen a8 is good. Of course, both of these pawns are hanging too.
So now b3.
Can no, knight c7 can forward. Oh,
No,
oh, you
the
trade.
queen falls.
Yeah, the queen's hanging.
Knight c7, queen takes queen. But this rook is overloaded. It's doing two defending.
So knight takes c7 check.
Knight takes e7, check. I just won another pawn, right? See, as soon as he played queen a8, this rook became overloaded. So as soon as position changes, even with one move, you should be able to recognize what kind of tactic is created, what tactical theme I should use. So 97, he played king h7, and now just trade queens too, right? So I play queen takes, rook takes, and how can white win this? This pawn is under attack twice. His knight is very well placed, so this move makes sense. b3, and he played knight b2. Anywhere else, I defend this pawn with, say, rook c2, and he can win the a2 pawn. But this way, he might be able to. On knight b2, it's white to play. What should he do?
Rook d2.
It's true that white is an exchange ahead, but black has the bishop pair. Those bishops are beautifully dominating the center and queen side. So I need to activate my rooks. So I'll play rook d6. And sure enough, he played rook takes a2. And with rook takes a2, the b3 pawn is hanging too. There are many positions that somebody could be an exchange ahead, and the other side has the bishop pair and pass pawn on the far side of the board, queen side.
The exchange.
So that was the first thing that I considered, sacking the exchange. But then I saw an active continuation. Knight c6. And it's black to play. He made a nice move. Bishop c3. Defended the pawn. And what do I do now? That bishop is beautiful. It holds everything. When your opponent has a really well-placed piece,
Trade it.
challenge it
Bishop e5.
with an equal value piece. Not to mention that with bishop e5, I have a little threat called checkmate. So on bishop e5, he has to take pre-match either now or next move. He took it now, and I took with the knight,
How else were you
and it's
taking-
black to play.
Took the pawn.
Rook took the pawn, and on white's next move, he resigned or ran out of time. Not sure which one. What would be a
rook
good
c7?
move? Rook c7. That guarantees winning a pawn, because even if he plays king g7, defending it twice,
Rook takes g6 check.
white has a rook takes g6 check. This pawn is pinned, so it's like it's not defending this, right? So here he resigned.
What?
What if he had played king g8?
Knight g4.
Then what does white have?
Knight g4.
Knight g4, king g7,
Rook f5.
And then knight e5.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
knight e5, king e8. How does white win?
So this is like a
d8.
puzzle.
Well, maybe rook on d to d7.
No, the winning method.
So-
The winning method is check here, just triple on f7
Yeah, well, that's right.
and win it next. And in the meantime, he doesn't have much. If he plays bishop e6, it's a little bit tricky though. If he plays bishop e6, where should I go?
e7.
e7. And if he plays bishop d5,
Not d4. Oh, he's threatening.
there's a little threat called checkmate.
So
h4.
no.
Wait. F4.
You just lost the game, dude.
No,
Anyway, so my opponent resigned a little bit early, or ran out of time. We don't know. Hope you guys enjoy the games, and we look forward to another week.